Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Can a foreign country invade the United States homeland? This is a question many people ask. They wonder if such a big and powerful nation could ever face a full attack on its own soil. The United States spends a very large amount of money on its military to prevent this. For example, in 2022, the country spent about $877 billion on defense. This huge spending shows how serious the U.S. is about protecting its borders and people. So, what would a modern invasion of the U.S. look like today? What factors would make it very difficult or perhaps even possible for an enemy? Has the U.S. ever been attacked on its home ground in the past? These are important questions we will explore in this book. We will look at history and imagine what a future attack might involve. We will learn about the strong defenses, like the vast oceans and advanced technology that help keep America safe. Understanding these points is key to knowing if an invasion is truly possible. 2. Past attacks on America. America has faced attacks before, though a full invasion has been rare. History shows us these events. One major attack happened during the War of 1812. British troops entered Washington, D.C., burning important buildings like the White House. President James Madison had to leave. This was the only time a foreign army occupied the nation's capital. Later, the U.S. fought back, showing strength in battles like New Orleans. The Mexican-American War began when Mexican soldiers attacked U.S. troops near the Rio Grande. Mexican forces then entered Brownsville, Texas. This brief event led to war. The United States won, gaining land in the West, including parts of California and New Mexico. In 1916, a Mexican leader, Pancho Villa, raided Columbus, New Mexico. His men fought the U.S. Army. Villa was driven back. The U.S. sent soldiers into Mexico to try and capture him, but they failed. During World War I, Germany secretly asked Mexico to attack the southern United States. Mexico refused, but this plan helped push America into the war. The most known attack in recent history was during World War II. On December 7, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Many U.S. ships were damaged. This serious attack caused America to join World War II, though Japan did not try to take over Hawaii. Japan did invade actual U.S. territory in Alaska. In June of 1942, Japanese forces took over two islands, Attu and Kiska, in the Aleutian Islands. This was the first time since the War of 1812 that a foreign army truly invaded American soil. U.S. and Canadian soldiers fought to get these islands back. The fighting on Attu was very hard. In August of 1943, the Allies took back both islands. During World War II, Nazi Germany also thought about invading America. But German military leaders knew it was too difficult to cross the Atlantic, so no German invasion happened. These events show America has faced attacks, but a full-scale invasion to conquer the country has been extremely rare. The country has always fought back. 3. How an invasion could happen. A modern invasion of the United States would need to be very fast and well planned. Experts believe that the main way an attack could happen is by sea, with an amphibious landing. This means soldiers would come ashore from ships onto beaches. This kind of attack would have to be highly skilled and move with great speed to have any chance. The west coast of the U.S. is seen as the most likely place for such an attack. This is because the East Coast has many more military bases and shipyards, making it harder to invade. If enemy forces landed on the West Coast, their first and most important goal would be to quickly take over important deep-water ports. Cities like Los Angeles, Long Beach, Oakland, Tacoma, and Seattle have these large ports. Capturing them would be very important. These ports would help the invaders bring in weapons, food, and other supplies needed for their army as they move further into the country. After securing these ports, the invaders would need to control how they move these supplies. They would try to capture places like warehouses, fuel centers, and railroad hubs. Doing this would not only give them the resources they need, but also prevent the U.S. military from using them. Moving quickly is very important for invaders, so they might not bring too many heavy supply trucks in the first wave. Once a safe area on the coast is secured and a base for supplies is set up, the troops would then push inland. They would aim to take control of strong points and surround large cities. This push eastward across the land would be a big fight. It would be difficult, but perhaps easier than the first challenge of landing on the beaches. If tanks could reach the wide roads of the Great Plains, it is hard to say how far they could go before being stopped. The main goals for an attacking force would be to cause absolute surprise, confusion, and fear among the American people and military. If they could achieve these three things and establish a strong foothold before the U.S. could fully react, they might think they have a chance. However, this is a very hopeful plan for any invader. Many things would need to go perfectly right for them to succeed, which is rare in war. 4. The problem with a big country. The United States has a natural defense built into its size and shape. On its eastern and western sides, two very large oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific, act like giant moats. For many years, these vast waters have stopped enemies from even thinking about an invasion. It is extremely hard to move thousands of soldiers and heavy military equipment across such long distances. Even for today's powerful countries, launching a large sea invasion is a huge and very difficult task. If an enemy somehow managed to cross the oceans, they would face another big problem: the land itself. The United States has many different kinds of places. There are dry deserts, tall mountains, and wet, muddy swamps. An army needs different equipment and special skills to fight in each of these areas. This wide variety of terrain is very bad for an attacker. For example, fighting in a hot desert is very different from fighting in the cold, high mountains or in the humid southern swamps. If an army is not ready for the different weather and land, Mother Nature can be a tough enemy. What if an enemy tried to invade from Canada in the north or Mexico in the south? A land invasion might seem easier than a sea attack, but it still has major issues. First, Canada and Mexico are close friends with the United States. It is very unlikely they would let an enemy use their borders. But even if they did, keeping an army supplied would be a huge challenge. The United States has powerful air forces that could quickly attack any supply points in Canada or Mexico. The border with Canada does not have many places for large military vehicles to cross. An invading army would either have to spread out or get stuck in long lines, making them easy targets. The border with Mexico is watched more carefully. If many enemy soldiers tried to gather in either country, the United States would quickly know. These geographical facts, along with good relationships with neighbors, make a land invasion from the north or south very difficult to succeed. 5. Eyes in the sky. The United States has a major advantage in military technology. This makes it very difficult for any country to prepare an invasion without being seen. Advanced tools give the U.S. eyes in the sky that watch almost everything. High above the Earth, special satellites orbit and watch the world. These are like powerful cameras in space. They can detect armies moving and military equipment being prepared. This gives the U.S. an early warning of any potential danger. The U.S. Space Force operates a program with these important satellites. They orbit very far from Earth, about 22,300 miles high. These satellites can spot missile launches, objects going into space, and even nuclear explosions. They are a vital part of America's national defense system. In addition to satellites, the U.S. also has very strong radar systems. These radars can see much farther than normal radar. They can look over the horizon. For example, the U.S. Navy has a system named ROTR. This radar can watch a huge area, covering all of Central America, the Caribbean Sea, and a large part of South America. This means that no matter where an enemy tries to approach from, there is a good chance the U.S. will detect them. This technology helps to find threats far away. The U.S. military also uses many drones. Drones are aircraft that fly without a pilot on board. They are very important for watching areas and gathering information. Their use grew a lot during recent wars, such as those in Iraq and Afghanistan. Drones help the U.S. military see what enemies are doing and where they are. They provide a lot of information without putting pilots in danger. This constant watch from above makes it very hard for an enemy to gather forces or move secretly. Together, these advanced technologies, satellites, radars, and drones, create a strong network. This network helps ensure that the U.S. is rarely surprised. Any large invasion would likely be seen long before it could reach American shores. 6. New ways to fight. Warfare is changing in the modern world. Enemies might use new, unexpected ways to attack a country, moving beyond just tanks and soldiers. These methods can cause big problems for a nation even before a direct invasion begins. They aim to create confusion and weaken defenses. One powerful new way to fight is through cyber attacks. These are attacks on computer systems that control important services. They could disable power grids, turning off electricity for many homes and cities. Water treatment plants and communication networks, including the internet and phone services, could stop working. Even GPS systems that guide planes and large vehicles like oil tankers could be scrambled. The main purpose of these cyber attacks is to weaken, disrupt, or destroy another country's ability to function normally. Another very dangerous method is an EMP, which stands for electromagnetic pulse. An EMP is a short, strong burst of electromagnetic energy. If an EMP weapon were used, it could overload and shut down almost all electronic devices. This would destroy various technologies, from cell phones to car engines and electric generators. An EMP could quickly take away a country's modern technological advantage, making it feel like going back to a time before machines. While America was trying to understand what happened and deal with the chaos, an invading army could use this moment to strike. Secret agents could also work inside the country to prepare for an attack. This is called military sabotage. These hidden agents might plan and carry out secret strikes against U.S. air bases and naval facilities. These attacks would happen in the hours just before a main invasion. Even though these military places have very high levels of security, they are not impossible to damage. For example, during World War II, the French resistance helped the Allies by sabotaging German rail and communication lines, which was very important for the invasion's success. Such hidden actions could hurt America's ability to respond quickly and effectively. Finally, the Internet can be a strong weapon in new kinds of warfare. Foreign powers can use it to spread false stories or propaganda. This is known as misinformation. Its goal is to create deep divisions among the people, causing conflicts even between family members and friends. If a foreign power wants to make the United States weak, spreading large amounts of misinformation online would be a key strategy. A country where people are divided and do not know what to believe is much easier to conquer than one that is united and strong. These new ways to fight aim to create chaos and reduce a nation's strength from within, making it vulnerable. 7. America's strong army. The United States has a very strong army called the U.S. military. It is one of the best armies in the world. It has advanced equipment, and its soldiers are highly trained. This military is ready to fight and has a lot of experience from past wars. The U.S. military has many soldiers. There are about 1.4 million active duty service members. This makes it the third largest military globally. Also, there are about 450,000 National Guard members. These members can be called to serve quickly if needed, adding to the country's defense. The U.S. military has fought wars for more than 100 years. This means its soldiers have a lot of real combat experience. In the last 20 years alone, the U.S. has been in 2 major wars. This has helped all levels of the military, from leaders to frontline soldiers, gain valuable skills. The weapons used in these wars have been tested and made better through fighting. The United States is also known as a top country for making advanced weapons. When we look at military power, the U.S. Navy stands out. It is widely seen as the strongest navy in the world. It has many warships, submarines, and a powerful fleet of aircraft carriers. These ships can travel globally and bring a lot of firepower to any conflict. This strong navy makes other countries think twice before trying to attack the U.S. It makes it very hard for any enemy to plan a water-based invasion. Landing troops and supplies from the sea is a huge and risky task against such power. Beyond the official military, the U.S. has another unique strength. Its citizens are very well armed. It is estimated that there are about 390 million guns in the country. This is about 120 guns for every 100 people. While people have different ideas about gun ownership, in a full invasion, these guns could be very important for defense. Many believe that if an enemy army invaded, groups of armed citizens would start fighting back. They would use guerrilla warfare. This means small groups would fight using surprise attacks and hiding tactics, making it hard for an enemy to control the land. A famous saying, often linked to a Japanese admiral from World War II, suggests, "We can never invade America. There would be a rifle behind every blade of grass." This idea shows how difficult it would be to control a country where so many people are armed and ready to defend their homes. Let's compare this to other armies that might invade. China has more than 2 million active soldiers. But China has not fought a real war since 1979. That war was short and did not have a clear winner. This means many of China's soldiers and officers have no actual combat experience. This lack of recent fighting experience could be a big weakness in a major war. Russia has about 2.2 million soldiers. This number changes often because of the ongoing war in Ukraine. Russia has had to force many of its citizens to join the military. The training and equipment of these soldiers are not always the best. Russia has fought smaller wars before. However, the war in Ukraine is much bigger and has tested their army greatly. They have faced many problems and lost many soldiers. The U.S. military's long history of fighting, its advanced technology, and its combat-ready forces give it a clear advantage over armies with less recent combat experience and varying levels of training. 8. The final answer. A successful invasion of the United States is nearly impossible. The country has strong natural defenses. 2 large oceans act as big walls. and diverse lands make fighting hard for any enemy. America also uses advanced technology. Satellites watch troop movements, radar gives early warnings, and drones collect information, ensuring the U.S. knows if an attack is coming. The U.S. military is very strong. It has many trained soldiers, modern weapons, and the world's best navy. Many American citizens also own guns to defend their homes. These factors make a foreign invasion highly risky. Abraham Lincoln, a past president, warned that America's greatest danger was from internal division, not outside attack. Any major global conflict would bring terrible suffering and countless deaths. It would be a world disaster for millions. What do you think is America's strongest defense? Its geography, technology, or people?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.